What's going on? It's Andy. I'm here on a Sunday to give you some picks for the No House Advantage Pick'em contest. I heard you needed a couple $100,000 or something like that, so I figured I would get started right about now, week 9, to make that happen. If you haven't played in this contest before, here's how it goes. No House Advantage, it's a new platform. It combines player props and fantasy, and the more player props that you pick correctly, the higher you go in the standings for this specific contest. And they also have a verse the house feature where if you can pick 5 player props correctly, they're going to give you 20 times your money. But today we're focusing on the pick'em contest, where we're going to see all these 1 o'clock games for Sunday, and we're going to pick which props we like the most. And the more that you get correctly, the higher you go in the standings, the more money you pile into your pockets. The player I'm going to start with is a rather random player, but he has a low yardage total, and that is Hunter Renfrow. They had an abysmal game last week. They're going to look to get on track. We don't know if Darren Waller's playing. You know, with that offensive line, they need to get the ball out of Carr's hands quickly. Yes, they're going to try to run the ball as much as possible with Josh Jacobs as they did the previous couple of weeks. But with this total, I believe Hunter Renfrow surpassed that total 2 weeks ago. Last week, nobody was able to get on track. Him, Adams, anyone. But I believe we have a slight advantage here. Like, you know, no house advantage. Well, this is going to be called an Andy slight advantage, because I think Hunter Renfrow's total is way too low. So I'm going to take the over on that. Then I'm going to go to that Vikings Commanders game. You see that slight delay. I had to do the quick cycling of, wait, what was their team name again? Redskins, Washington football team, Commanders. Well, I'm going to go with the over on Terry McLaurin receiving yards. He surpassed this total the last 2 weeks. This is a guy I've always liked, but for whatever reason, him and Wentz, I guess, didn't seem to have that connection. But as soon as Heineke stepped back into the picture, he eclipsed this total the last 2 weeks. I see no reason why it wouldn't happen a third straight week against a team who's able to put up points but doesn't have the best defense. So in a game where Heineke's probably going to have to be throwing the Kirk Cousins revenge game, you got to like Terry McLaurin to surpass that total in the 60s. So I'm going to go over on Terry McLaurin. Then the third one is a guy who is habitually and continually disrespected. I'm talking like Stephen A. Smith. Habitually disrespected, continually disrespected, and that is Jakobi Meyers. Jakobi Meyers, I believe he's like, what, the number 11 wide receiver in PPR? Well, they have his total in the 50s in a game where the Patriots are favored, going up against a Colts team where they, it seems like for decades, just destroy. So I'm going to take the over on it. When Mac Jones plays, he's always looking Jakobi Meyers' way. I believe some of those other wide receivers are dinged up. He surpassed this total last week, got into the end zone last week. He's a reliable receiver for the Patriots, as reliable as you're going to find from them. And I like the over on Jakobi Meyers' receiving yards. Then I'm going to take a look over at the quarterbacks. And we're going to go to a guy who sometimes goes almost full years without throwing an interception. And we know they're not throwing the ball as much this year, which actually might work to our advantage for this particular pick. But I'm going to go Aaron Rodgers under half of an interception. This is a guy who has gone full years throwing like 4 interceptions. And when he's going to be going up against one of the worst pass defenses in the league, I like his chances to not throw an interception. Now, I'm not saying he's going to have 400 yards and 4 touchdowns, because they seem not to throw the ball as much, and you can see why with that receiving core. But if they're not going to be throwing a lot and you have a great decision maker against an awful pass defense, I'm going to take the under on Aaron Rodgers interceptions. Then I'm going to be looking at Zach Wilson, who is completely struggling through the air. He does not look great at all. They've showed despite the Jets winning, he has been abysmal through the air. Now he's going up against a division rival, one of the top defenses in the league. Unless it's coming in junk time, I don't really see how he's going to throw over 1.5 touchdowns. That's going to be a struggle for him against the Bills. Just seem to refuse to take their foot off the pedal, and it makes sense. They want that home field game. They don't want to repeat the mistakes of yesteryear where they were forced to go to a place like Kansas City. So they're pretty relentless every single week. They were able to pick off Rodgers. They made life hard on Rodgers, so much to the point where they were just running the ball even when multiple scores down. Maybe the Jets, default to like a similar game plan with the way Wilson's playing. I don't like him throwing over 1.5 touchdowns, so I will take the under on it. Those are the 5 picks that I'm going to give to you for this particular Sunday, Week 9. If you need a couple more, Always remember to check out the optimal lineups and free projections that Stokastic offers for this particular contest. They'll really be able to help you out. I can help you out a little bit, but they can help you out a lot of it. So make sure you go over there, make sure you like this video, make sure you subscribe to the channel, and make sure you tell everyone in your family you love them. Because at least if you have an awful day and lose all your money, you could say, well, at least I told my mom and dad that I'm really appreciative of them. Unless you're not, and then I guess don't send them anything, and I will see you next week. Take it easy.